Hi guys, Rachel here. How is everyone? So it's time to start thinking about Goth Lit November again. For those of you who aren't familiar, Goth Lit November is simply a fun tag created by my friend Bailey and I over at Bailey Jean. I will link her channel below. We created the Goth Lit November tag last year for November because I hate November. Why not brighten up November? It'll just make it more fun. And it really did the trick for me last year. So we thought we would do it again this year. I know some of you had asked about it, if we were going to be doing it again, and here we are. So the challenge, if you even want to call it a challenge, it's just for fun. The challenge is as follows. You read one book from each category of Gothic literature that we came up with. There are the classics, the Victorian Gothic, Southern Gothic, and contemporary. And choose a movie to watch if you enjoy films. I know I do. So even if you read just one book, that's fine. Relax, sit back and read. It's just supposed to be for fun. And we would love to hear about your reading experiences. I'm not going to give you a breakdown of what Gothic literature is or anything in this video. If I haven't already done so, I plan on sharing my video from last year. And please watch Bailey's as well. She also created an introductory video for this year. So Gothic literature is a bit hard to categorize. There are some elements that you find throughout Gothic literature, but like anything which humans try to categorize, there's, some nuances. So don't lose your mind over it. I will say there are some books that Bailey and I had put on our list as reading recommendations from last year, as they were recommended to us. And after reading a couple of them, I sort of felt like maybe they were slightly miscategorized. I thought maybe they were more of the folk horror vein, but that's fine. Like I said, don't lose your mind over it. It's just supposed to be for fun. So I have a few examples here. For classics, we have The Monk by Matthew Lewis, which I did read last year. And if you would like to know what I thought of it, I talked about it in my Goth Lit November reading wrap-up video. So there's that. For Victorian, Joseph Sheridan Le Fanu, Silas, Uncle Silas. I almost said something else. It's not by him. Uncle Silas, which I haven't read and I wanted to read last year, but I ran out of time. Okay, so that's Victorian, I believe. For Southern Gothic, Flannery O'Connor, of course. Like, she's great. Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Even though this was written in the 30s, it's considered contemporary. I consider it contemporary anyway. I know that's almost like 100 years ago. It's crazy, right? But Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, one of my favorites. That's considered contemporary. For Victorian, we have Frankenstein, which I might read this year. Again, this is not supposed to be a TBR, but I read this a few years ago and I thought it was beautiful. And now I have this annotated version, this illustrated annotated version, which I really want to check out. Also, I wanted to mention that poetry can definitely be a category. Goth Lit tends to be categorized based on time and place. So Lord Byron, a lot of his poetry that would be categorized as Gothic. And honestly, with, let's say, a trope like the vampire, right? Vampires showed up in poetry before literature, I believe. Okay, I'm not a scholar or anything, but there's a lot of poetry out there that is considered Gothic, which inspired the later novels that we've all come to love. Another one is Samuel Taylor Coleridge, like The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Another extremely gothic one is Christabel, which is unfortunately unfinished, but I highly recommend it as it was the inspiration for Joseph Sheridan Le Fanu's Carmilla. And I wanted to mention the reason it can be hard to categorize is, okay, a novel like Wuthering Heights, for example, not scary at all, right? I don't think it's scary at all, even if there is a ghost. On the other hand, Henry James' The Turn of the Screw is extremely frightening, or it was for me anyway. I might read this again for this year's challenge. And I think that one of the elements of Gothic literature is terror of the unknown. It pretty much dominates good Gothic literature. And I think that's why this book is so scary, is because, is there so much unknown. There's just so much that isn't explained. And, but yeah, anyway, I'm sort of all over the place, and I don't know if I did a very good job. I was out and about all day, but I'm looking forward to this year's Gothlit November. I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. So if I haven't already done so, or if you haven't seen my video from last year, you might want to watch that. I probably did a better job of explaining, and I didn't feel like filming the same video all over again. So anyway, I hope that you will all join us in this fun tag. I know we had a blast last year, and I hope to see you all there in the comments section or in VRs. So, all right, again, it's Gothlit November, so we're doing the introductions now, so you have time to think about what you'd like to read, or if you have to reserve something at the library, you have time. But there's no pressure. If you can't finish your book by the end of November, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Last year, I was reading into December because I got so excited and I had so much fun that I read a lot more than I thought I was going to. And yeah, so anyway, I think that'll do it, guys. All right, take care. Bye.